Hey, welcome back, guys. Today, I wanted to just jump on and create a video. I'm creating a series called How to Change Your Career at the Age of 50 to an Online Business. I did create a video previously about how to find your niche, how to you have this passion to start an online business. You're in your midlife, you just started, and you've been working in corporate or working as a working dad in a regular 9 to 5, either blue collar or white collar. And you got to that point of, I want to do something different. And now you're starting to see people, Gen X, are making YouTube channels and doing businesses online. And I wanted to create a bit of a series. It's how to start an online business. The first one was how to find your passion, how to find what to talk about when starting an online business. And the next part, when starting an online business, it's not all about how to make money, different ways to make money. Yes, that's a key fact of starting a business, but it all comes down to mindset is very important. I learned that over the years. When I started in the online space in 2006, I thought it was okay, let's just make money. But then over the years, I realized you have to have a certain mindset when starting an online business. So I'm going to break down the four between an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset. And I'm going to try to just tell you how I see everything when it comes to starting a business online, becoming an entrepreneur. And I hope you get some value from this. And so let's get started. And before we get started, if you want to learn a step-by-step blueprint on how to start your online business with video training and step-by-step of how to get started, I have a free PDF. Just click on the first link in the comments below to get started, and I'll send you the blueprint on how to get started with your very own online business. So the first thing that when the difference between an employee and a entrepreneur mindset is, number one is focus. When it comes to, especially when you're as an employee, the main focus before I start, there's nothing wrong with being a full-time employee. I'm not trashing that. I'm just saying that when you want to be, the mindset of an employee is you tend to focus on the present of doing the best to help the company succeed. When I was working as a risk analyst, so I was a risk analyst for 25 years. I've been doing that ever since. And I had to focus on the present. So when I say I was a risk analyst, what I used to do is I used to try to prevent a lot of credit card fraud. I used to work on the online space for 25 years. I used to work for a company, actually a gaming company, for 25 years. And we used to have to try to protect the company from people trying to fraud the company with financial transactions, like with credit cards or other payment methods. And we had to try to prevent that. And when I was working in the present, so we would get all these accounts and we had to review each account to see if there's any type of fraud. So we used to have to work in the present, and our goal was just to help the company get to where they need to go. We weren't thinking about what we're going to do in the next 10 years as an employee. Our mindset was just, okay, we have 25 accounts that we need to review, and let's do it. And then at the end of the day, that was it. We reviewed the 25 counts and we move on. So it was about being in the present. As an entrepreneur mindset, which is completely different, is that you're focusing more on the long term. So like, let's say for instance, you're focusing on what topics you want to share on social media, of how do you want to grow your business, how you want to expand, how do you want to motivate and grow, what type of profits you want to create, so what channels, what content that you want to bring. So it's all about thinking more about the future of, hey, with being an entrepreneur, you kind of have to it's kind of like deconstructing your business. You start with the end in sight and then work backwards. So like, let's say for instance, one of my goals is I want to get my channel up to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, that's my end goal. So how do I get there? So I'm thinking more of the future. I'm not thinking more of the present. So I go backwards. Okay, how do I get to 1,000 subscribers? I have to create content and give value to the audience. So that's one thing that that's the difference between an employee mindset. You think more of the present, and an entrepreneur mindset where you think more of the future, of where you want to go compared to, what you need to do today. The next one is number 2, the employee versus the entrepreneur mindset is risk. When I say about risk, there's number 1 is focus, the next one is risk. So when it comes to an employee mindset, you tend to focus more on security, stability. You go to work to make sure that you have a paycheck, at the end of the week, like Thursday, Friday, or if you get paid once a month, you're focusing on, hey, I know I'm going to put in this work. I'm going to make this amount of money, this dollar amount. So you focus on the different types of risks. Like, it's not, when you're an employee, you're a little bit in what's called the comfort zone. You're comfortable. You don't want to. You make sure that you do your work properly. A few times I made some mistakes when doing. As a risk analyst, I would make mistakes, and then you get worried. Oh no, I made a mistake. I got, you get written up and whatever. So you're worried about that. You don't want to lose your job. You get scared. So, but on the other hand, while an employee mindset focuses on, the stability and security, entrepreneurs we're willing to take a little bit more risk. For instance, my wife and I, we've done other ventures, and one of the ventures that we've tried was drop shipping. We did drop shipping. Actually, we did private labeling, So we did private labeling. We purchased a lot of products, so we had to put some money up front, import the products to North America, and then sell it online. It was a big risk, It was a calculated risk because we took the training, we understood, but it was a risk that we were willing to take. So that's the difference. As an entrepreneur, you're willing to take a risk. You don't know if the business is going to succeed or not. You have to take that risk. With that business, we did make some money, but it wasn't enough to say, okay, it's time for us to retire. There was a lot of customer service and stuff like that you have to do. That's the difference mindset. One is more stable and one is more like, okay, taking more calculated risks. As an entrepreneur, you're taking more calculated risks. As an employee mindset, you're more, okay, I'm going to do my job and then I'm going to get paid at the end of the week. I'm good. That's the difference between the two mindsets. Number 3, the difference between an employee mindset versus an entrepreneur mindset. And number 3 is decision making. When it comes to, typically when you're an employee, you have minimum decisions. Like for me, when I was a risk analyst, I had, if this guy is fraud or not, if this account is fraudulent or they're trying to launder money or something like that. Your focus on the job is you don't make the decisions. It's your boss that makes the decision. It was your supervisor that makes the decision. This is the CEO, the manager. They make the decisions. You typically are set. You get a paid rate. You get paid for what you do, and your focus is just doing your job. You're just focused on doing there's blindfolds and you're just focused on doing that. There's no, okay, hey, you might put your input. Sometimes you put your input, your boss might take it in consideration, but a lot of times is you don't have much say. If it goes against the company's trajectory or where they want to go, you don't have much of a decision. But as an entrepreneur, you handle all the decisions. You handle the expenses, the responsibility, what's the best to make for your business, what content you're going to create, how you're going to monetize your, let's say for instance, YouTube, how you're going to monetize your YouTube channel. What are you going to create a book? Are you going to create a course? Are you going to be a one-on-one coach? And when you're going to post, when you're going to start, when you're going to end, when you're going to upload. Like, you make all those decisions. No one else is making you doing these decisions. So somebody's not telling you what to do. You just got to do it. So you have to be very disciplined when it comes to an entrepreneur mindset. Is what do you have to make sure that, you know, how to get stuff done. One of the things that I like to do is I like to write down, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Set goals, like get an agenda and write the goals of what you need to do. So those are the things that you want to, all the decisions comes down to you. So when you mess up, it's all on you. There's no one else to blame. Last but not least, number 4, learning. The difference between employee mindset and a entrepreneur mindset. So when it comes to an entrepreneur as an employee mindset, at the beginning, when you start your job, when you first find a new job, you're learning how to follow procedures. Like, this is how it's done. It's like A, B, C, D. This is what you need to do. That's the employee mindset, that there's set rules, and then you don't learn any additional things. Like, for instance, you learn how to do the things. They might tweak a thing or two and they might educate you enough, but you don't learn anymore. So you're stuck in that box where you got to follow what they give you. As an entrepreneur, and when it comes to learning, you always got to keep learning. The learning and growing, and you got to be able to overcome setbacks. So for instance, one of the things that I had to learn is how to do YouTube properly. There's a way to do it. No one's telling me how to learn. I had to go out, get the course. You know, somebody has a step-by-step, get a mentor, and I had to learn it on my own. And it's a lot of trial and error. You try, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, that doesn't, you know, those are little things that you have to try. And sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes, like for instance, I created some videos and I think, it's gonna be great. These videos are gonna be great. Then they flop. They're like, okay. But then, you know, you learn from it. It's a setback, but you learn from it. It's like, okay, why did that video didn't do so well or whatever. So it's just, it keeps learning. So that's the beauty about being an entrepreneur. You get to learn so much. I've learned so much since 2006. I'm still learning. I'm not an expert, but I love it, you know? So there you have it. So let me ask you a question. Do you know any other differences between an employee mindset to an entrepreneur's mindset? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Give me some feedback of what you think is, and you know, what's the difference between the mindsets. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to get some more ideas and tips, like this video, please. It really helps my channel. Follow if you want to get some more information. Subscribe to the channel. You know, I'm gonna try to do this once a week to try to give value. And if you want to be notified once these videos are uploaded, hit the bell notification. Okay, guys, it's nice seeing you, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.